Children have a tendency to think in concrete terms and to focus on details. Working with patterns challenges this kind of thinking. Working with patterns produces a drive for more abstract thinking. Look at this sequence, for example, sequence of blocks. Always think of the sequences starting from the left and continuing to the right. And it doesn't need to stop here. We can imagine the continuation, the rest of the sequence. We can express the regularities in this sequence of blocks in two different ways. We can give the rule how the sequence continues. It's black, orange, orange, black, orange, orange. It's always one black and after that's two orange and then again black. Another way, slightly different way of expressing the regularity is to try to find distinguish inside the big sequence, smaller sequence, which is repeated and repeated. And in this case, the smaller sequence is black, orange, orange, black, orange, orange, black, orange, orange, black, orange, orange. Maybe for little children it's easy to say little sequence inside the big sequence, but in mathematical terms it is of course the period which is repeated in this sequence. The period of this sequence is black, orange, orange. There are different ways of working with patterns and different tools. I have introduced them in the resource booklet. You can, with patterns, you can look at sequences made of others and identify the patterns. You can extend a pre-made pattern. You can copy a pre-made pattern. Then you can match patterns. For example, if we instead of in addition to this sequence, if we had a sequence made of letters, let it be a sequence C, D, D, C, D, D, C, D, D, C, D, D. That sequence could be matched with this sequence because the periods are equally long, they have the similar form, and we can make a correspondence between C and black block and D and orange block. And if we switch these blocks in this sequence to the corresponding elements or terms in the other sequence, this will be CDD, CDD, CDD. So these two sequences can be matched. And of course, the nicest thing, the most interesting thing for little children is to create their own patterns and let others investigate them. In preschool, children also should be familiarized with certain concepts and concept pairs describing positions in space and time. And I have listed these terms in the resource booklet, but it's important that the teacher first clarifies the concepts. For example, the little teddy bear is now in front of the dog, but it can also be behind the dog. It can be besides the dog or next to the dog. It can be on top of the dog or under the dog. Teacher can show the concepts, not that many concepts at one time as I was showing to you, in the pace that the teacher knows the children can actually grasp and adopt those concepts. And then the teacher can practice those concepts with the children. Children can, for example, move around in the classroom, and teacher can give instructions where she uses these concepts. Or you can give instructions for building with blocks, or you can give instructions for drawing. And also children can give instructions. So these are very important concepts for further studying of mathematics. Some educators also include in pre-mathematical skills the knowledge of basic shapes. Basic one-dimensional shapes that you should be familiarized with are point, line segment and line. Basic plane figures, a circle, triangle, square and rectangle, and basic three-dimensional shapes which children meet in play and games are ball and cube. Also, counting from 1 to 10 is considered as a pre-mathematical skill by some educators. In the resource booklet there are lots and lots of activities for practicing these pre-mathematical skills. Have a look at them, study them, and now I have a task for you. Many of these activities can be applied to the everyday daily life of a preschool. For example, children can be arranged in a queue in an increasing height. One-to-one correspondence can be practiced, as I told, so that one child gives one pencil to every child. So I'm asking you to think of 2 pre-mathematical skills and make an application which you can do in a real preschool in the everyday normal life of that preschool, not in a circle time or special time for educating the children, but in a playtime or in during the daily routines of that preschool. Make an application where you can practice these 2 pre-mathematical skills so that children even don't notice they are learning, they are studying. Use your imagination and have fun.